Hi and welcome back, and today we're going to do a dummy build because before I start doing any of the engine bay repainting and filling holes and all that other stuff, I need to figure out what holes I need to fill and what holes I need to drill now before I've actually painted the bay because I've forgotten something. So I've got a plan, and it's basically put on as much stuff as I can and then call it a day. So let's get on with it. When it comes to fitting the inlet and exhaust manifold, I think I've got this pretty dialed now because I seem to do it every other week, it feels like. But it's all gone in quite nicely, and it just looks nice to have these parts fitted again. Whilst I'm getting on with this, it'd be great if you could give me a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Really appreciate that. So I'm going to put the catch can back on, again just because I want to check clearance for the wiring loom later on. You've got to take it apart to fit it because the bolts go behind the main can. It's a bit of a struggle to get this fitted, but I suppose once it's on, I don't need to take it off. You just remove the lower part, which just unscrews. So I'll leave it as it is for now. So originally the loom would actually fit on above where the radiator's mounted, and on the other side you can see where it snaps off. So I'm going to trim them all off because I'm going to go for a smooth look. Covering the engine though, because I don't want to get that covered in any metal filings. Go with a double cover because why not? Seems to be quite nicely tucked up there. Looks cosy. With those out of the way, I'm just going to put the radiator on. I'm not putting any hoses on, but I just want it in position so that I can figure out where I'm going to put the washer bottle, but I'll come on to that later. So this is going to start with me just drilling a hole for where I think the cable is going to come through. Now I've noticed that the end that I'm going to put on the outer cable fits into a riv nut quite nicely. So I wouldn't actually use a riv nut normally because it's not been screwed in, but it seems to fit nicely. I'll just measure up for the cable. This is just the outer of it, fairly flexible, but I'm not entirely sure about how it's going to get into the bulkhead at that angle. I think it could be too long. Yeah, I need a better way of cutting this because it is a little bit haphazard. Just threading the cable through, a little bit fiddly, but it's going through okay. So with it all fitted together, it feels like it flows quite nicely. There's no harsh cornering on it, and I've kept the cable length down to a minimum. The loom is loosely fitted. I've not got anything on the inside, so it's just to get this in place. I've got nothing in the way, and what I'm trying to get is a nice straight line that runs along. which I think I can get. I've just need another hand really, but we'll get there. So instead of using the forward clips, again I'm going to use riv nuts and P-clips. It'll make fitting the loom a lot easier, it won't damage the paint, and I think it looks quite smart. I know I'm not going to get any movement with these as well, so it's nicely secured. So I'll just work my way through. I'm going to put one at the front, just before it goes towards the radiator, and another near the strut tower when I think that should hold it enough. Seems to look quite neat. As for the other side, it's just a rinse and repeat. The loom's slightly different on this side because I need to go down to the starter motor and the alternator, which I'll do once I've taken the inlet and exhaust manifold off again, but that's an easy job. I don't need to worry about that too much. I'm really happy with how it's looking now. Certainly having like the wiring loom in position, because before it was just anywhere I could put it and it was flopping around all over the place. And getting away from the original forward clips to the P clips, in my mind, is a much better move because they used to knock the paint off, and when you take them out they fall apart. So I haven't got that problem anymore. I need to figure out the fuel line, because what I've realised is the fuel pressure regulator isn't in a place that I'd like it. But what I'm going to do is do something entirely fuel line related, because I've got some bits to order, I've got some bits to make. One of them, which has just arrived, is this. So this is injector rail. This is 1 meter long, because at the minute I've got 2 fuel rails, injector rails for the ITBs, and I want to change that to 1. You've got a bit in the middle where you have to put some rubber hose, and it's just 2 more points for it to leak. Plus the hose tails aren't really the size I want, so I'm going to cut this down, get it drilled, get it mounted, put some weld-on AN6 fittings on here, and then build it up roughly to how it needs to be. And then the last thing that I need to do is make a new wash bottle, because I can't buy one that I want. The plastic one that I bought, that I've moved twice now, just isn't the right size. It's just awkward. So I think I'm going to make one, which is what I'm working on. So the materials have just come for that, which I'm going to keep a secret because I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do it yet. But basically, new washer bottle, totally made by myself, so might leak a bit. We'll see. That'll be coming up soon. So hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.